Good morning. My name is Bill Atkinson. I'm the Assistant Fire Chief at Nashua Fire Rescue, and I'd like to welcome all of you this morning to this promotional pinning ceremony. If you're able, if you could please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing afterwards for a moment of silence for our fallen members. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. I'd like to welcome current, past, retired members of Nashua Fire Rescue, Local 789, members of the Board of Fire Commissioner, Commissioner Lambert, Commissioner Burgess, Commissioner Steer, Commissioner Malizia-Goya. Chiefs, Deputy Chief Mark Cooley, Deputy Chief Kevin Kerrigan, Deputy Chief James Kirk, Deputy Chief Bob Barrows. Local President 789 Tom Hooley, and other members. At this moment, I'd like to hand the podium over to Chief of Department Steve Buxton for some opening remarks.
Good morning and welcome. I'd like to start by congratulating the members being sworn into new positions today. Today's ceremony is a result of a lot of hard work through the years by you and of course by your family and friends who supported you in your pursuit of advancement. Whether you're about to be sworn in as an assistant chief or our newest member, you have worked hard with the support of others who helped you achieve your goal. Be sure to take a moment today and thank them. This ceremony is for them just as much as it is for you. So take an extra moment, grab a few pictures to remember today, and most of all, be sure to show them you appreciate their support. When we all became firefighters, we assumed our place as caretakers within the noblest of professions. The unspoken understanding of our responsibilities transcends all of our personal differences. It is our uniting force. This responsibility is what makes a firefighter call another brother or sister, and why those words mean something different, more, when it's spoken from firefighter to firefighter. It's what makes duty, honor, and sacrifice not an obscure concept of an idealized yesterday, but rather an unchangeable way of life today. So today, we honor you, not just because you passed a test or completed a process, but because it is now your honor, privilege, and responsibility to be leaders within our organization. In doing so, you must do your part to preserve and move forward the greatest traditions of Nashua Fire Rescue. This will not be easy. Nothing good ever is. To be a leader is a great responsibility. You can't take a break from it. You don't get a day off from it. And you can't go on vacation from it. Today, you enter the ranks of a role that will define you and you it. Now being a leader is part of you forever. You have accepted the responsibility of making our organization better because you are in it. That requires character. Character matters, honor matters, and integrity matters. All this comes with the territory, and most of all, and most important, it comes with being a leader. But your responsibility is also a great gift. You have in your hands the ability to strengthen the future of our job and the greatest and noblest profession in the world. Leadership is not a function of gold or silver bugles. It is not won by promotion, rather by development of character. So I ask you, as we are here to celebrate your new beginning, never be deterred in your commitment. Be guided by what is right. Be guided by what it means to be a leader. Congratulations to you all for your achievements. Thank you very much.
This time I'd like to ask Chairman of the Board of Fire Commissioners, Kevin Burgess, for some opening remarks.
Good morning. Good morning, Chief Buxton, Assistant Chief Atkinson, deputies, my fellow commissioners, our promotees and their families, and all of you joining us here today. It is an honor to speak at such an exciting and important event for Nashua Fire Rescue. As I've said before, and I will say again, promotions are certainly one of the more satisfying aspects of being a commissioner. Taking part in the promotional process allows us to see firsthand the effort and dedication that is put forth by each candidate who is testing and training for their placement within the organization. It gives the Commission an opportunity to hear the story, their goals, and their aspirations. It shows us each candidate's individual commitment of expanding their personal education and professional development, along with their leadership abilities. It also presents the volume of support and sacrifice given by their families and loved ones throughout the process. There is a great significance with this ceremony today, as we not only recognize the next step in the careers of each of these individuals, but also the next steps of Nashua Fire Rescue moving forward. As they embark in their new leadership roles, their advocacy and our mission and our organizational values will continue to be paramount. You must have integrity. Integrity embraces every aspect of who we are and all we do. Integrity is what you are, not something you have. Never lose sight of that. To Assistant Chief Mark Hooley, Deputy Chief Glenn Telgen, Captain Nathan Armstrong, Lieutenant Thomas Lanzera, Lieutenant Curtis Buxton, and Lieutenant Cyrus Hebert. A group of folks that I've had the fantastic opportunity to sit around a table with many times for many reasons. I applaud each of you for attaining the rank you are here to receive momentarily. I also want to welcome and congratulate Samantha Allen as our newest fire alarm operator. On behalf of the Board of Fire Commission, I congratulate you all and wish you tremendous success in your new positions. Thank you.
This time I'd like to ask Assistant Chief Mark Hooley to step forward. This morning he's going to be sworn in by Chief of Department Steve Buxton.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the laws of the state of New Hampshire, the Charter of the City of Nashua, and the rules and regulations of Nashua Fire Rescue?
I do.
Will you faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon you as an Assistant Chief, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations.
Assistant Chief Mark Hooley has had an impressive 26-year career in the fire service, starting as a student intern in Gilmington Fire Department in 1997, and later becoming a full-time firefighter there in 1999. He continued his journey, briefly serving with the Hudson Fire Department before joining Nashua Fire Department in May of 2001 as one of 20 recruits. Over the years, he has earned several promotions, culminating in his appointment as Deputy Chief in February of 2022, where he proudly served as a shift commander of Group 1. His involvement extends beyond his ranks. He actively participated in various aspects of Nashua Fire Rescue, serving as station steward and on the executive board of IAFF Local 789. Furthermore, he's held the positions of president for 3 terms in the Nashua Fire Rescue Firemen's Relief Association. With a bachelor's degree in fire service administration and a master of public administration and emergency management, along with completing the prestigious National Fire Academy's Executive Fire Officer program. Assistant Chief Hooley is well prepared for his role as Assistant Fire Chief. His extensive experience at Engine Company 4 and Engine Company 2 in downtown districts will be invaluable in leading the department's Emergency Services Division. Assistant Chief Hooley is supported by his loving family, including his parents, Tim and Joyce, his wife, Kelly, and their 2 children, Patrick and Paige. Mark will have his Assistant Chief badge pinned on by his 2 children, Patrick and Paige. Assistant Chief Hooley would like to make some remarks.
It's probably a surprise for some of you that I got a few things to say. As I have a quick sip of water, if you're in a uniform today, look around this room. There's a lot of support here, and we are our strongest when we support each other. And sometimes that's hard to do, but that's when we're our strongest. So don't forget that. Now I'm going to open my water. I asked the chief if I could just say a couple of quick words, and he reminded me that we have other people that are getting promoted, and sometimes I could be long-winded. I narrowed it down to 2 things I wanted to talk about today, and that's gratitude and opportunity. First, gratitude. Nobody gets the opportunity that's been bestowed upon me today without a little bit of help. In fact, nobody does anything alone. There's a lot of help that goes into it. So my gratitude starts today first with the chief. Being promoted to assistant chief or chief of this department are the only 2 positions that are merit-based. And what I mean by that is there's no physical exam, there's no studying, it's your entire career's worth of work, and then they sit down and have a conversation about opportunities of who could fill that role, and I'm grateful that my name came up in that discussion. So thank you very much. To Chief Atkinson, enjoy your retirement. I know we've got a couple of days to work together this week. The chief and I never really worked together much in our careers. We were always at different ends of the city on different shifts, or I was leaving when he was coming. But our time together in the office was pretty good, and I appreciate the conversation we had on the very first day that I was the deputy and he was the assistant chief. I really do appreciate that, so thank you for that opportunity. To Deputy Kerrigans, Kirk, and Barrows, if the rest of the members of this department could see what goes on in that office upstairs on a regular basis, to have been part of that for the past year and a half was pretty great. A lot of respect goes into that office upstairs. And if the firehouses could see what goes on up there and how we work together for the betterment of the department, we'd all be pretty good. And I appreciate that opportunity from all 3 of you guys to be part of it. Thank you. You know, I grew up in a town that didn't have a call company. We didn't have an Explorer post. We didn't have an auxiliary. We just had the Chelmsford Fire Department. And I had no way of getting any exposure to the fire department until I met somebody named Mike Curran. Not the Mike Curran that you all know, the original Mike Curran. He's in the back there, his father. Chief, how are you? Chief Curran let me come down to the firehouse, hang around, let me see what it was like to be a firefighter. And when I was 16 years old, he planted a little seed in my head that said, someday I want you to think about going to the Executive Fire Officer program in Emmitsburg, Maryland. And if you do, I'm going to go to your graduation. It stuck with me. It was an opportunity. Well, 20 years later, I graduated from the Executive Fire Officer program, and Mike Curran was there in Emmitsburg, Maryland for my graduation. Chief, I really do appreciate you taking that time and planting that seed for me when I was 16 years old. Thank you. You know, I've had 2 best friends in my life. One of them left me when I was 27 years old. He was a good kid. We were born 3 weeks apart from each other. And we did everything together. We played sports together, we trained, and the highlight of our friendship actually became when we were captains of the varsity football team. That was because he died a few years later. I'm not a very spiritual person. I'm certainly not very religious. But every time I've had something big in my life, I've talked to him. And I said, hey, wherever you are, if you've got some pull, I could use it today. And I'm standing here today, and he was a pretty strong guy in the gym. So I appreciate you, Jeff, and I miss you. My other best friend is Chris Diaz. I met him when I was a student in Gilmanton. We moved in together. Now, we played football together in Chelmsford in the Merrimack Valley. He played for Andover, I played for Chelmsford. So the first day, I didn't like him. But being me, I gave him an opportunity the second day. And the second day, I found out why his nickname, being the moral compass, was what it was. There's not a day that has gone by that I haven't had to share the phone with him, talk to him, help me through something, get some guidance from him in some way, shape, or form. Best friends are hard to come by. My best friend now works in Westford. He's there for a reason. They probably need him. We just don't know the reason yet. But he's the moral compass, and he's down there. And where is he? He's over here someplace. He's there somewhere. There he is. Chris Diaz, you're a great best friend. I really do appreciate it. You know, opportunities. I started as a student in Gilmanton. Jim Clow was the first fire chief that welcomed me as a student. He's now retired. He worked in Perry, Texas for about 16 years, and he's retired, lives outside of Dallas. Joe Hempel, who was supposed to be here today but texted me and said he couldn't, he was the first person who hired me as a full-time firefighter. I was working in Gilmanton. I made $9.32 an hour. I had to get my own uniforms, and I took gear off the shelf when I came in for my shift. I was the luckiest 19-year-old kid there ever was. A brief stop in Hudson, Chief Carpentino. On the day of my interview, I told him I was going to work in Nashua someday. I was honest with him. I was only there about 16 months. And I ended up where I always wanted to be, which is right here in the Gate City. Chief Navaroli, like many people here, hired me. He was the fire chief here for 23 years. Chief Morrissey promoted me lieutenant. Chief Gallipo promoted me to captain. And Chief Rhodes promoted me to deputy chief. And today, Chief Buxton promotes me to the rank of assistant chief. Those are all tremendous opportunities, and I'm very grateful for all of them. Mentorship is something that you have to have in life, because you don't have all the answers. I've had two mentors. The first one came in a natural progression when I was a lieutenant, when I was a private on probation up at Amherst Street. His name was Joe Freire. Now, Joe was a quirky guy for sure, but he instilled upon me that this was a pretty important job we had, and he instilled upon me that you have to be prepared every single day. And you may not be as prepared as you need to be right now, but if you prepare yourself during your shift, the next day you're going to be better off for it. And I instilled upon me when I became a lieutenant. The other mentor I had came at a time when I didn't really know I needed one. I always thought mentors were people that you looked up to, people that had rank on you. Well, about 6 years ago, Jim Kirk became my second mentor. He's an incredible friend. He's an incredible chief. And if there were anyone else that wasn't standing here right now, I wish it was him, because he would have been a hell of an assistant chief for this fire department. I'm grateful for both of you guys, truly. You know, this job can take a lot from you. I've been here for 26 years. And if anyone's wearing a uniform, you know it can be tough. We're a lot better off as an organization today than we were 5 years ago from the mental health standpoint, and everybody's done a really good job. We still got a long way to go. But about 6 years ago, I was struggling a little bit. The job was beating me. And I found a friend over at the police department who was the one that was going to decide she'd listen to me. She talked to me. She's since retired. She now works in Carlisle, and they're great to have her. Carrie Baxter's here someplace. She's right over here. Thank you, Carrie. I wouldn't be here standing without you. I appreciate it. I really do. You know, your crews are what makes it, right? I worked for Jocko Allison when I started as a deputy. I mean, when he was a deputy and I was a lieutenant. What an incredible opportunity. Dan Cronin, that guy instilled upon me the comfort and the calmness that a deputy chief has to have. I've worked out of this building as a firefighter. I worked out of this building as a lieutenant, a captain, and deputy chief. I worked out of Station 2 in the same ranks, firefighter, lieutenant, and captain. For the last year, I've had the privilege of being the deputy on Group 1. The guys on Group 1 have made my life so enjoyable over the past year and a half. I do nothing other than just give them some advice, point them sometimes in the direction that they need to go. Thank you to everybody on Group 1, everyone at Stations 2 and 4 where I spent the bulk of my career. You made my career very, very rewarding, and you made my career exciting to the point where I'm standing here today. And then you sit there and say, okay, well, you got to thank the people that are most important to you. That's my wife, Kelly, and my kids, Patrick and Paige. And you go, how do you do that in this room being the way that I am without being emotional? So I thought about it for like 2 weeks. And then when I got up here today, I saw them sitting in the front row, and I said, well, that's it. They're my front row people. Everybody has a person that sits in your front row. They're ones that see the whole show. They see the good days, they see the bad days. When you're coming in with a little bit of an attitude, they check you at the door, right? They get to see everything. I couldn't ask for a better group of people to sit in my front row than Kelly, Patrick, who's 17 today. Happy birthday, buddy. And of course, Paige. She completes our little show over there on Deer Haven Drive. I probably forgot somebody in that gratitude part, but don't worry, I'm going to retire someday and I'll finish up with all of you guys at that point. The last thing I want to talk about real quick is opportunity. Nobody gets anything given to them in life if they don't take advantage of it. That's where opportunity comes into play. Chief Curran gave me an opportunity when I didn't even realize it, when I was 16 years old. Okay? You can't go to the National Fire Academy to the Executive Fire Officer program if you don't have some support. He planted the seed. I had to get a letter from Chief Morrissey. He wrote it, and then I showed up down there. The program is called Executive Fire Officer Program. I had no right being there. I had no right being there. But it's where I wanted to be at that particular moment in my life. People provided me with an opportunity to get there. And when I walked into the National Fire Academy and I sat down in that room, the first of 4 years on campus, 2 weeks of school, 75-page research paper to follow, I said, oh my God, I have no right being here. But it's all about opportunity, see? So we went around the room and did the introductions of all the folks. Some of you have heard this story, but I want to share it with everyone else who hasn't. 2 people stand up in that room that stick out to me. First guy stands up and says, my name is Ryan Glassford. I'm a captain in the Clark County Fire Department in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, captains down there are big wigs, right? You've got different promotion schedule down there, but he goes on to say, for the past 2 years, I've been on a special assignment by the fire chief. I had to rewrite all of our pre-plans for all of our high-rises and casinos. We have a 100-page pre-plan for every casino in Las Vegas. For the past 16 months, I've been working on a high-rise high-rise operations program in which we completely redid our high-rise programs. He says, and we have in our first 2 districts 16 of the world's 21 largest high-rise casinos and hotels. I said, well, that's pretty good. A couple people later, short little guy stands up, bald, shaven head, and he says, my name is Colin Stoll, S-T-O-W-E-L-L. I'm the assistant chief of the city of San Diego, California. I'm in charge of operations. I have 7 divisions that report to me. And it's basically everything you can think of: EMS, operations, lifeguard services, air rescue, hazmat, the whole 9 yards. He goes, at the end of the day, there are 1,700 people and their families that I am responsible for. I thought that was a pretty interesting way of him to put it. There are 1,700 people and their families that he is responsible for. He's not in charge of them. He is responsible for them. San Diego is the 10th largest fire department in the country. And I said, well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then it was my turn. I stood up and said, good morning, my name is Mark Cooley. I'm a lieutenant in Nashua, New Hampshire. There's me and 3 other guys on Engine 4, and we try to go to as many calls as we can. And I sat back down. The fact of the matter is, I was exactly where I wanted to be. An opportunity had been presented to me, and I was going to take advantage of it. I graduated that program 4 years later. I was still the only one wearing silver on my arms, meaning I hadn't achieved the rank of chief officer yet. Everybody else in the picture had. I talked to Ryan and Colin every single week. Less now that the Patriots are as shitty as they are, but a lot more when they were good. So to Glenn and to Nate and to Curtis and Tom and Cy and Samantha, an opportunity has been given to you just like it has to me. What we do with that opportunity is the only thing that we can control. So take advantage of the opportunity that's been given to us. We get an opportunity to make things right. We get an opportunity to impact people's lives. I have to wrap up because the next guy that's getting promoted is so excited for the ceremonial pinning service. He's been talking about it for weeks. Deputy Telgen. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Mark, thank you for those brief remarks. Deputy Telger, would you please step forward?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the laws of the state of New Hampshire, the charter of the city of Nashua, and rules and regulations of National Fire Rescue?
I do.
Will you faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon you as the deputy chief, so help you God?
I will.
Congratulations.
Deputy Chief Glenn Telgen is joined today by friends and family who are all proud to support him in this milestone. Glenn's involvement in the fire service started around age 15 as a fire cadet in his hometown of Shoreham, Vermont. The fire service has been a part of his life since that young age. His grandfather, several uncles, cousins, and a brother are also part of the fire service. Glenn started his professional career next door in the town of Hudson, where he worked just shy of 3 years and has spent the last 21 years with us here in Nashua. He would like to thank his friends, family, and crew members who have supported him through his career. The crews he has worked with over the years have certainly been a key factor in his success as a leader and a fireman. Glenn will have his Deputy Chief's badge pinned on by his wife, Ashley. I'd like to call Captain Nate Armstrong up, please.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the laws of the state of Hampshire, the charter of the city of Nashua, the rules and regulations of National Fire Rescue? I do. Will you faithfully, impartially discharge and perform the duties incumbent upon you as the captain of National Fire Rescue, so help me God? I will. Congratulations.
Captain Armstrong began his fire service career in 1998 as a volunteer for his hometown of Hollis. He was offered a position in Nashua as a full-time firefighter in 2001. He began his career on May 14th with 19 other probationary members in what remains today allegedly the best recruit class in the history of Nashua Fire Rescue, Class 101. Captain Armstrong worked as a private throughout the city, doing longer stints at Amherst Street, Spitbrook Road, and Lake Street, learning from some of the best privates and fire officers in the business. He became a member of the dive team in 2006. He proudly joined the Nashua Fire Honor Guard in 2010 and continues to serve to this day. Captain Armstrong was promoted to lieutenant in April of 2011 and served as a safety officer for a short time until being transferred to Amherst Street. In 2012, Captain Armstrong became a certified hazardous materials technician. Another transfer took him to the Spitbrook Road Firehouse until a signed-in position opened up at Connaught Road, where he served in the Southwest District out of Engine 6 for 7 years. Captain Armstrong then took one final transfer to Engine 4, working in the district he was first assigned to in 2001. Captain Armstrong has been married to his wife for 22 years and has two amazing daughters, Emma and Elizabeth. Their support and love make his career possible and make coming home from work the best part of his day. Captain Armstrong would also like to thank his mother, Sharon, his stepfather, Mike, and his grandmother, Phyllis, for endless amounts of support throughout his life, but especially with the demanding and challenging schedule he holds as a firefighter. Captain Armstrong would lastly like to thank all the members of NFR that he has worked shoulder to shoulder with throughout his career. They make this the best job in the world and have made him a better person just by being in their presence. Nate will have his captain's badge pinned on by his stepfather, Mike McGaffrey. I would ask the Lieutenants Lanzera, Buxton, and Hebert please step forward.
All right, gentlemen, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the laws of the state of New Hampshire, the charter of the city of Nashua, and the rules and regulations of National Fire Rescue? I do. Will you faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon you as a lieutenant in National Fire Rescue, so help you God? I will. Congratulations.
Tom was born and raised in Nashua. He is the middle child of 7 kids. His parents are Dr. Ronald Lanzera and the late Natalia Lanzera. Tom has been married to his wife, Agnieszka, for 17 years. They were married overseas in his wife's home country of Poland. They are blessed with their 2 children, Colin, a high school junior, and Olivia in middle school. Tom is grateful for his family and their support throughout the years. After graduating from Bishop Girton High School, Tom pursued a career in chiropractic. He joined the Hollis Fire Department as a call firefighter. After a discussion with then Hollis Fire Chief Rick Town, Tom decided to change career paths and attended the University of New Haven, graduating with a bachelor's degree in both arson investigations and fire administration. He was an active member of the Coast Guard Auxiliary for 4 years and a student government representative. After college, Tom worked for a period of time in the engineering department with Metro Swift Fire Sprinkler Company. He was then hired by the Concord Fire Department before coming to Nashua Fire Rescue. Tom is very involved in the community. An Eagle Scout himself, he is both a Cub Master and an Assistant Scoutmaster. He's been a soccer coach for both of his kids' teams, a Nashua Fireman's Relief Director for 5 years, and now a Hollis Fire Explorer Post Lead Advisor. He was a New Hampshire State Representative for Nashua, serving on the Executive Departments and Administration Committee. In the New Hampshire House, he holds an attendance record of 100%, in addition to having never missed a vote. Tom again would like to thank his wife and children for their love, patience, and sacrifice. Of all the things accomplished, he is most proud of them. Tom will have his lieutenant's badge pinned on by his children, Colin and Olivia. I'd like to call up Curtis Buxton. Curtis Buxton is the 3rd generation Nashua firefighter. Born and raised here in the city, he grew up around Nashua firemen, but that close familiarity with the job originally drove him away from it. The long hours and unpredictability of the job often kept family members from attending holiday celebrations, sports games, and more as he grew up. As a child, that can be difficult to understand. As Curtis struggled to find his way after high school, his father invited him to attend a training burn that he and some friends were working on for another fire department. As Curtis spent time with them, helping light fires, watching members run drills, and seeing the camaraderie between them all, everything seemed to click. Curtis almost immediately changed course. He began working towards a career in the fire service. In 2015, he started as a live-in student in the town of Gilmington. 2016, Chief Hempel hired him as a career fireman in Gilmington. In 2017, he started his career here at Nashua Fire Rescue, spending his time driving Engine 4 out of Crown Hill Fire Station until his move to the Amherst Street Fire Station. Lieutenant Buxton would like to thank his crew at Amherst Street, as well as all the members he has had the pleasure of working with along the way, for their support, guidance, and mentorship. Curtis would also like to thank his mother, Heidi, his father Steve, sister Ashley, brother Dan, girlfriend Amelia, and the rest of his family in attendance today for their support over the years. He wishes to express that he would not be standing here today without all of their support and guidance. Curtis will have his lieutenant's badge pinned on by his father, Steve. Lieutenant Cy Hebert. Cy joined Nashua Fire Rescue in 2001 as a member of Class 101, again, some say the greatest class in NFR history. Since becoming a member of Nashua Fire Rescue, Cy has been and continues to be extremely active in many capacities within the department. Local 789 and the Nashua Firefighters Relief Association. These include being a union steward, Relief Association Director, and a member of multiple Local 789 committees, with over a decade as a Safety Committee member. Two of Cy's most cherished assignments to date have been 12 years as an assigned operator of Ladder Company 1, and over 16 years and counting as a member and leader of Nashua Fire Rescue Honor Guard. Cy is proud to be a member of this department and also have the opportunity to serve alongside his brother Joe and his son Sean. Cy is extremely grateful for his friends and family. Cy is who he is today because of the impact each of you have had on him, especially his parents, his wife Lori, son Sean, and daughter Lily. Cy will have his lieutenant's badge pinned on by his daughter Lily. I'd like to call Samantha Allen up, please.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the laws of the state of New Hampshire, the charter of the city of Nashua, and rules and regulations of Nashua Fire Rescue?
I do.
Will you faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all duties incumbent upon you as a fire alarm operator for Nashua Fire Rescue, so help you God? Congratulations.
Fire alarm operator Samantha Allen. As I read through some of today's biographies of some of the other members that were promoted today, you likely heard a theme about references to Class 101 allegedly being the best class in our organization. On the suppression side of our organization, we typically hire in groups of 6 to 12 folks at a time. This enables them to work together during their probationary period, forming a bond that obviously, as you saw earlier, continues to this day. Dispatchers in our organization, way different. Dispatchers, we typically hire one at a time. They don't have other folks in the same situation that they can talk to and create a bond with. Our dispatchers are our unsung heroes of our organization. They're the first voice that our customers hear. They feel calls from citizens having the worst day of their lives, and they feel calls from citizens that involve language barriers, screaming, and cries for help. They are held to a high standard in a different way than our suppression folks. One mistake dispatching companies to an incorrect address can have dire consequences. This morning, we are pleased to announce that Samantha Allen is nearing the end of her probation and is being sworn in today as a fire alarm operator. Samantha will be pinned today by her mother, Susan Allen. I am not nearly as eloquent as Assistant Chief Mark Cooley. I've been in the fire service for 38 years, Nashua Fire Rescue for 28 years. The folks that are being promoted here today I've watched since the date they were hired. I've had the experience to work with each and every one of them. They are an incredible group of folks. Our entire organization is filled with young folks that are have an immense amount of enthusiasm, a tremendous amount of education, and a drive to succeed. With the guidance of these leaders that you see in front of you, the future of Nashua Fire Rescue indeed looks bright. I'm retiring in less than 1 week. Well, yeah, less than 1 week. But again, I have had the distinct honor and high privilege to work with all of these folks. And again, I can't say it enough. The leadership team that you see in front of you today leading this organization forward, this organization is in good shape, remains in good shape, and with the guidance of Chief Buxton is fine looking for the future. I'd like to thank you all. And as we conclude today's ceremony, I would offer the following thoughts from Jim Rohn. The challenge of leadership is to be strong but not rude, be kind but not weak, be bold but not bully, be thoughtful but not lazy, be humble but not timid, be proud but not arrogant, have humor but without folly. To our promoted officers, thank you for being leaders in our organization. Continue to lead tomorrow and every day as you serve in your new roles. To those recognized today for having achieved the milestone of almost nearing completion for your dispatcher probation, your fire alarm operator's probation, I'm sorry. Congratulations for a job well done. To the families of those recognized today, we'd like to thank you for your role that you served in helping them develop and become the people they are today. The importance of your support should never be understated, and Nashua Fire Rescue is grateful to all of you. On behalf of the Chief of Department, Steve Buxton, we thank you for coming today. We wish you safe travels as you continue on your journey today. This concludes our ceremony, and you're more than welcome to take whatever time needed for family photos and enjoy your time. Thank you again for coming.
Yeah, I was the loser.
Thank you.